okay, I'm gonna try this again. I've already messed up one time, and we'll try and see if anybody's watching. And if you're not, it's okay. I certainly understand. Um, um, we'll see if we can get this working. I'm not very good at this stuff. I do like shooting video, but going live is not something I like to do much. Did get a chance to edit any video this week from our trip to Savannah and St. Augustine. And for those who are in the chat room, can you, is the microphone working good? I have one in there watching. I don't see nothing in the chat, so I'm not sure if it's working or not. Hopefully it is. I'm using this lapel lavalier mic, so I have to say it right. But anyway, didn't get a chance to watch and do any video editing. I did a little bit. We're on day 3 of the Savannah St. Augustine trip. We spent 2 days, 2 nights in Savannah. Then we drove back down 95 to St. Augustine and went there and spent 3 nights in St. Augustine. So if you're watching, that's what's coming up next on the channel. We'll be I'll be editing those videos, and they should be appearing soon. But one of the vlogs I watch online recently done a live discussion about what do you miss about cruising, and I got this idea from Cruise Day Fun Vlog. A really nice couple. If you don't watch them, I highly suggest that they are really nice people, and I really want to meet them someday because they seem like they'd be fun to hang out with. So their discussion was about 20 things you miss about cruising, and so I'm going to be reading the list here. First question was, how many of your cruises were canceled during the pandemic? So we made through one cruise last year, and we left out of New Orleans on the Carnival Valor. We was on with the Journey with the Gingers. They were on the cruise with us. Didn't actually get to meet them, but we did share a cruise together, so that was kind of cool. I did see them a couple of times, but I didn't want to bother them. They seemed to be enjoying themselves, and as we were. I never did put out any vlogs on that because I didn't feel like doing much about that. So, but anyway, getting to do the cruise last year, which was our only cruise. We had an 8-day Southern Caribbean cruise. In October, they got canceled. So we ended up doing the flying to Las Vegas, and we spent 5 nights in Vegas and done the Vegas and Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, all that. Really enjoyed ourselves out there. I will say that YouTube is an invaluable resource when you're looking for new places to visit, such as we did for St. Augustine and Savannah. Even though my wife had been to Savannah, we wanted to learn more about what there was to do there, and saw some really great ideas. I just wish we'd have better weather for Savannah. As you saw if you've watched any of the videos, you see how bad the weather was there. It was really cool. And the day we went to Tybee Island, it was very windy. So that was second cruise that was canceled this year for March. We had an 8-day partial Panama Canal transit that was canceled out of Tampa. And then we were going to do a June cruise into Alaska. We changed it and moved it to September to a later cruise. And that one got canceled recently because we were going to have to fly to Vancouver. And as many of you know, Canada has canceled all cruises pretty much out of any Canadian port. and as far as I know, they have not been able to do uh, anything resolved there. I think they're still having some trouble with some cases there, if I'm not mistaken. And if I say anything like that, I'm wrong about it. I see Cruise Day Fun is here. Thank you. Thank you for the Vegas videos, comment. I really enjoyed Vegas. I'm not much of a gambler. Um, I really just, the main reason I want to go to Vegas was to see the lights. Got to see that and more. And really wanted to go see the Grand Canyon. And that's been a bucket list destination for a long time. And we rented a Jeep and we drove the 4.5 hours to the Southern Rim. So that was a very good trip. But it was a long day that we got up early that morning and got on the road to the Grand Canyon. If you drove that from Las Vegas going to the Southern Rim, you know how hard that is. But that's 3 cruises canceled so far. Our next cruise that we actually have booked is the March 5th celebration cruise out of Galveston on the Carnival Vista. I'm pretty sure, based on what I've seen some comments, I think there's a couple of, I think the Nautical Nurse Nancy is going to be there. I think I saw where maybe a couple other vloggers are going on that cruise. That'll be the 50th year celebration for Carnival, and I'm really hoping that turns out to be as good as anticipated, with all the ships meeting out in the Gulf. And I think there'll be 4 or 5 ships meeting, and there's going to be a kind of a special show with fireworks maybe, or some sort of light show. I think it should be a very interesting cruise. Yes, Cruise Day Fun. I saw Joy still needs to see the Strip at night. I still need to see the Grand Canyon. Yes, the Grand Canyon was definitely worth going to. Seeing the Strip at night, we didn't do a whole lot at night. We normally would go eat dinner somewhere off the Strip and then come back to our room. We stayed on the back side of the MGM Grand, so it wasn't as good a room. But like I said, that was our first time going. We didn't know a whole lot. We just took one of the good rates that we could find and a good flight and just enjoyed it. I will say that the car rental place that we rented from, Fox, I would never use them again. Bite the bullet and pay more for your car. It was a great deal on our Jeep. And the main reason I got the Jeep was because of the drive to the Grand Canyon. I wanted to look like I belong in the Grand Canyon for some reason. I've always wanted a Jeep too. So, but anyway, yeah, that part was very good. I mean, driving the Jeep was kind of different. But yes, the celebration cruise will be good. I'm getting off topic. I'm sorry. The second question: what have you missed most about Embarkation Day? And I've seen a couple different vloggers do this, and I really think it's. I've seen some people just really love jumping off the deck onto the gangway, off onto that deck of the ship. I think getting on any ship, I think it's cool just going in the atrium the first time, and just kind of getting that view of wonder when you see the ship for the first time from the inside. I think it's cool. I think driving to the port the day of the cruise, whether you're staying at a hotel and you're getting a shuttle to and from the port, or if you're taking some sort of other transportation besides your vehicle, it's seeing that ship for the first time when you cross a bridge, or you pull into the port and you see how big the ship is. But I think for me, it's getting on that first view when you, especially a new ship that you haven't been on. We've been on the Carnival Fantasy, or we were on the Carnival Fantasy, I think 4 times, because it was here in Mobile. And, that one was, you just get on the ship and go find your room, go put your stuff down, go to Guy's Burger Joint or Pizza or somewhere and find you something to eat, and then kind of relax and get ready for sail away. But on a new ship, the last new ship we were on was the Carnival Breeze in 2019. getting that first look on the ship is something I missed tremendously. Just getting there and having that special drink and trying one of those drinks. Or if the ship has a Red Frog pub, that's one of my favorite places to go because of the music and the drinks. Embarkation day, it's half price. The Carnival Valor, I bought a big fishbowl of I can't remember what the drink was, but it's a big, huge bowl, and I got it for half price. And so you could bring that drink glass back, and they would refill it on the other sea days for half price. So that was a cool thing to do. We enjoyed that. I still have the glass in the living room. I really enjoy it.
I was questioning your question because I said what type of thing?
Next, I'm sorry I'm taking so long here. What have you missed most about being on a cruise ship? Um, I think getting on a cruise ship. I think the relaxation, the sea days, finding you a place up on deck, finding you a place on that perfect chair, just to sit and enjoy the music. If you're near Lido, or if you're on the back of the ship and you're watching the wake of the ship, I think that's one of the most underrated views. A lot of people love it, but being on the back of the ship and seeing it from that perspective and watching the wake of the ship as you're watching. Hey, I see the world with Chris. I see you dropped in. Good to see you. You're my neighbor up in near Birmingham. I know. I need to get up there sometime and meet up at some bar, have a drink or two, I guess, sometime. So, Mr. Baby on a cruise ship, yeah, it's meeting people. I have met so many people like the people in this that do the cruise groups and the vlogs. I've met some of them. I've met people here near Mobile that have cruised out of the Fantasy with us, and where I work, I still see some of these people come by every once in a while, and it's always nice to see them and see how they're doing, and remember their family, remember what they did for a living, and just ask them how things are going. It's just cool to see people and remember the good times you have with them. I still keep in touch with a lot of those people, and it's really cool. It's really cool just meeting people and seeing them. Yes, Chris, you do have some great breweries up there. We've actually got some good ones down here. If you ever come down to Mobile, you've got Serta Brewing, and you've got I'm going to forget the other one. There's two breweries. Serta Brewing is the favorite. You go there on Thursday nights. It's trivia night. If you get a lot of trivia questions right, you can score some free drinks. So that's always fun. Number 4, what cruise ship activity have you missed the most? With me, it's, believe it or not, it's the music. Whether it's the violin people, if you go to into the main atrium before dinner, and you have the people playing the violins. If it's the shows playing the rock music from the 70s and 80s, which is my favorite. If y'all can tell, I'm a little older. I'm in my 50s, I'll just say that. But I grew up in the 80s, and I had 2 older brothers that grew up in the 70s. So listening to 70s and 80s rock is what I grew up with, and so I really enjoy that, and it's just fun to listen to. Just some great music from that time. Boston's one of my favorite bands. Journey, you name any 70s, 80s group, I'm into it. When we were on the Carnival Valor last year, they had a band in the Red Frog pub every night playing the 80s rock music. They had this kid that was like 20 years old playing a guitar, maybe 19, and he was as good as any lead guitarist I've ever seen. And I got to talk to him one night and just listen to him talk about some of his heroes. And I'm like, how did you know these guys? Because you're so young. And he's like, I've listened to their records. And so to see his influence by the older artists, like Stevie Ray Vaughan, I'm going to forget some other guys, but some of the old guys, even Slash from Guns N' Roses, hear some of his influences in playing music was really cool. And to see a kid like that appreciate the old 70s and 80s rock was pretty cool. So the music on the ship is probably the thing I miss the most. Activity, just finding finding a pub, a chair somewhere near on the casino, or in the shows at night, just listen to the music. I enjoy that just about as much as anything. um, what have you missed most about your cruise breakfast? The Sea Day brunch. If I've only cruised Carnival, I had one Disney cruise got canceled due to a hurricane. I am booked currently on a HAL cruise next year to Alaska, so I hope that goes. So I'm anxious to try the food on a different cruise line versus Carnival. But the Sea Day brunch and the new menu, I'm not a big fan of. The older Sea Day brunch menu, I really loved. I thought they had some really good Belgian waffles, which you can still get, and I love the pancakes. But just some interesting different foods that you get. Usually for breakfast, I'm not much more of a just uh, at home when I'm here. It's mainly just a bowl of cereal in the morning time. But if I'm on a cruise ship, I tend to get something else a lot better. I do miss the Mexican breakfast. There again, I'm drawing a blank. When you get on these lives, it's amazing how much your mind just leaves you. Uh, I've seen people do it; they just do it flawlessly, and then I get on here and my mind goes blank. Yeah, the OC Day brunch too. The flaming tomato soup was missed. Yeah, things like that you just can't get in a you can't get on a normal um, ship breakfast, and the C Day brunch menu gives you a chance to try those different items. But definitely the breakfast on the ship. I love the coffee. I love going up getting that coffee in the morning time, coming back down the room, just sitting there watching the sunrise, or just listening to the people stirring around. Especially if you're in a port, seeing the ship as it pulls in, those are really cool. I love time lapses, and I've done a few time lapses. And pulling in the port, leaving the port is really cool to see when, especially on a time lapse. I like that. Um, what have you missed about your cruise lunch? Cruise lunch on Carnival. I love the deli. My wife especially loves the deli. That's the new deli menu is actually an improvement over the older deli menu they used to have. And I think once you learn where it's at on the ship, you'll see that place is really packed. Of course, pizza. Uh, and when they offered the $5 delivery on the pizza, that became a big hit. That was big with us. Buffalo chicken sandwich from the deli. Yeah, breakfast is my favorite meal. You can't mess it up too much. You're right. You're right. Huevos Ranchos, Cruise Day Fun. Yes. Like I said, the Mexican breakfast, the burrito, breakfast burrito, the arepas, and that's really good. I wish they would offer something else besides that, but I think Carnival's getting in the game now with the Mardi Gras. I think you're going to see some huge changes with their breakfast and just different offerings throughout the day. Um, what have you missed most about your cruise dinner? Um, what do I miss about the cruise dinner? I think the I used to love the show, the people singing, the waiters and waitresses just getting up and dancing with you and stuff like that. And that's still fun and cool, but it's not like it used to be. I think what I miss most at dinner is my chocolate melting cake with my ice cream or two ice creams to make it look like a Mickey Mouse. But I miss the dinner menu. It's changed throughout the years. I'm not a big, the older menus were better. I think the newer menus were okay. Uh, but I'm definitely, if the ship has a steakhouse, and the Valor had one the very first night, go to the steakhouse. We had a tremendous Wagyu uh, meal, and it was just Wagyu and Kobe beef are just out of this world good. And getting to try Wagyu finally, it's just fantastic. I used to manage a fresh market. I used to run a fresh market, and um, I would love to see how the guys would come up with these different cuts of meat and these different seasonings and how they would use them. And it was fun to see all the different cuts come in and how the guys would prepare them and how to prepare them to sell. and then to see people come in and buy them and cook them at home, like you, especially prime, any USDA prime come in, see the quality of the meat was good. Yes, love the steakhouses. Um, Chris says he's 50-50 on the breakfast burrito. It was amazing once I put the wrong stuff in. Yeah, you can do that. You can definitely do that. What cruise ship arcade game have you missed the most? I really don't play the arcade games. I keep on saying I'm gonna push one of those to win like the $500 or $1,000, but you gotta get that hand or the button right in the right spot. I don't know that I could do that, but I would try one time. But that's probably what I do most. What cruise ship hangout spot have you missed the most? Well, I've already said it. The Red Frog Pub is. Sorry about the noise from my. If you can hear it from my rocking chair. The Red Frog Pub is my favorite place to hang out. The Embarkation, half price deals. I've also loved to go there at night. Dancing, all the stuff like that is just fantastic to go. And the music in the Red Frog Pub at nighttime on our last cruise was just about every night we were in there. It didn't matter. We went there after dinner and sit there and jam the music all night long. One of the nights, they had the Brass Messenger, which was a brass band playing with them, and they let me do one of the Shakers keep rhythm. So, but I have a music background. I was in the band, so I have a little bit of music ability. So getting to do that was cool. I got to jam with the band one night with a little like a shaker to keep time with the song. What cruise port have you missed the most? My favorite cruise port is San Juan. So I say that's the one I've missed the most. I've been to St. Martin one time, and I tell everybody going to Maho Beach, the airport beach there, is one of the coolest experiences you can have. I love watching jets take off and land. I subscribe to several YouTube channels where it's just nothing but watching jets take off and land at different airports. Getting to see all the different types of aircraft. Here in Mobile, they put together the Airbus A321. Yeah, St. Thomas, Chris, you said it. St. Thomas is beautiful. St. Thomas is beautiful at dusk when the sun's going down and the cruise port really lights up at night. You got the houses on the hill, you got all the boats in the bay, and then the cruise ships lit up. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's good too. But San Juan has just got so much food, so much history. The forts there are amazing. San Juan's where I miss the most, and then St. Thomas and St. Martin are real close together. I love both of those ports, but I've only been to St. Martin once. I really want to go back, not just because of the Maho Beach, but the downtown there. They used to have a guy that done work for Star Wars. He was one of the creature creators, and he had a shop there. You couldn't take pictures or video. I did coach him and let me take one picture, and I wish I could find it. But he had a bunch of artwork from all the early Star Wars movies, and he was really talented, real nice guy. He just didn't want people to make money off of the creations that he did. And I can understand that. I mean, artists create work, and they don't want people to use it for their own sake. So, but if you get a chance to go to St. Martin, look up. I think he's called the Yoda Guy or something like that. It's downtown Phillipsburg. If you take he has let some people video in there, and he has let them do some interviews. But I asked him the day I was in there, and he said no. But he did let me take one picture. But he'll let you take pictures. But if he knows now, I guess now if you have a YouTube channel like a lot of people do, I don't think he allows them unless you have to, I guess, reach out to him beforehand. Maybe, I'm not sure. What have you missed least about cruising? Debarkation. That day you have to get off the ship. The night before you get off the ship, when you walk down the hall and you see all the luggage on the floor, and you know tomorrow's the day you get off the ship. That's crappy. Um, that's the saddest feeling in the world because either you've got to fly back, you have to drive back, or you've got to like the last time we cruised out of Port Canaveral. Um, we had to drop off my son and my daughter-in-law at the airport. Well, their flight got canceled because there had been some bad storms rolled through the southeast, and there was a lot of flights canceled because of that, and delayed real bad. So it caused some other cancellations. Yeah, last night knowing you got to pack, that is really really bad. I don't like that at all. What was I saying? As far as that, we were leaving out of Port Canaveral. We drove to Orlando and dropped off um, daughter and son, our daughter-in-law and son at the Orlando airport. They just got a rental. We made sure they got a rental, and then we got on the road and drove then all the way back into Mobile, and they drove back to East Tennessee, which that's a long drive. It's only like 7.5 hours for us to Orlando, but for them it was like 9 hours. But that's the best they could do. With the flights canceled, they couldn't find another flight. Seeing all the suitcases in the corridor is the worst. Yeah, when you see all them suitcases, it is bad. And I'm sorry, the apartment complex I live in. Somebody decided they wanted to have a show us how loud their car could be. If you heard that, what is the next cruise ship you expect to board? Or I'm sorry, when do you predict that? Man, I'm skipping questions here. What activity you try to cure your cruise blues? Travel. We went to Las Vegas last year, March this year. I have family in East Tennessee near the Smokies, so um, I've been. We've been back home to the Smokies a couple of times, and we're going back uh, in July. We have a set of twins, and they turned 30 in July, and we're going to go meet them all in Chattanooga, and we're going to have rented out like a suite, and we're going to have a party weekend in Chattanooga. So we're going to go up there and see all the sights of downtown Chattanooga, do some of the breweries, do probably the Tennessee Aquarium and stuff like that, and go out to eat at some cool places. So Chattanooga is a place we haven't been to in a while. We drive through there on the way home a lot, but we haven't been there to see Chattanooga in a long time. It used to be one of our favorite places to go because there's Lookout Mountain, there's Rock City, there's a bunch of things to do in Chattanooga. If you ever go, if you've not been there, I highly suggest going. When do you predict the cruise will resume from the U.S.? News has come fast and furious this week. The Carnival's threatening to pull their ships out of the U.S. and cruise from other ports. Royal's already doing it. NCL is going to do some cruises from Dominican Republic and Jamaica. It's I think the CDC is finally, hopefully, getting some blowback from people from both parties. I think for a while it's been a lot of one-sided deal, and I think when you're seeing case numbers drop dramatically, you're seeing more and more people vaccinated, whether or not you agree with it. The vaccine passports, I don't agree with, but I do think if a cruise line makes a determination that they want people to have a vaccine before they get on a cruise ship, that's their right as a business to require it. So I think I have a good feeling now that just based on some of the cruise news I've read over the last couple of days, July may be some test cruises out of the U.S., specifically Miami, Port Canaveral. And then once those test cruises go well, then I think you'll see an early rollout, maybe by September, if not August, to the other U.S. ports. I'd love to see Mobile get the cruises going back here again because it's huge for the local economy. The local people that do Ubers, I've talked to a couple of Uber drivers. They're struggling because they don't have they don't get the money that every 4 or 5 days they were getting. Yeah, I'm with you. Hope the CDC makes the right move soon. I think they've already seen the evidence is there that 400,000 people have sailed on other countries. I think they need to go ahead and make that happen here. You're right. I agree with you. When do you predict that you will be on your next cruise? Well, I've kept some money back in case they do start selling out of Mobile this year, that I want to try and support the local cruise port, because I know people that work there and do hard work to make that place go. I want to support our local economy, so I plan on doing that. Like we supported all the restaurants locally during the pandemic last year when it was really bad and all these places were shutting down. We tried to order food from as many different places as we could to keep these people going. We tried to, at least once or twice a week, spend some money at one of these restaurants that were struggling, try and keep them in business. And it worked for the most part. There are some that still shut down, and I feel bad about them. So hopefully we get a cruise this year in on the Sensation out of Mobile. If not, it'll be the Vista in March of 2022. And then after that, the MS Conningsdam, the Howe cruise next September. So that's the next two cruises we have booked. But if something happens out of Mobile, we'll try and get something out of here soon. What is the first thing you do once you're back on board a new ship? Back on the cruise ship? I know you can't hug nobody, but I would love to hug all the people on the ship and tell them how much glad we are to be back. And I know most of them will be glad to have people back. There's been a couple of people that we've had for room stewards or that were waiters, and I've seen them be somewhat miserable. And it's kind of rare that you see that, but every once in a while you say, I don't want to see them, because if they were that miserable and they didn't like that type of life, I don't think they should be doing that. But I think I would just love to shake everybody's hand and say, I'm glad you're back. That's the first thing I like to do. Get a drink and thank them. What change do you anticipate will be the hardest to adjust to? I think they will require masks for the most part, even though I'm vaccinated. My wife is vaccinated, and I think I know one of my sons is. The other got his first dose today. So I'm hoping if you have a vaccine, they don't make you wear a mask, because your chances of transmission are low and your chances of catching it are low. So I really think that the mask thing will probably be mandatory for the few cruises. And if I have to wear them every day when I work, so I'm okay with it. My wife does for the most part at her job. So I'm okay with it. We'll just have to see what happens. But I hope we don't have to, but with the vaccination, but maybe we might have to. Will you cruise if you must get a COVID test prior to boarding? I don't think they're going to require a COVID test if you prove the vaccination. They may require next year a booster shot, maybe, or a negative test next year. I don't know. I think those tests have been shown to be so many false positives. Based on my knowledge of local, I'm not sure about that. But I don't think that'll happen. Will you cruise if you must wear a mask in the ship's public areas? Kind of goes back to what I said earlier. Wearing a mask is not an issue for me. I have to wear one at work anyway. But I do on a very public sector job, so that's part of what happens where I work. So as far as that goes, I believe that's not a problem for me. As I've already stated, my wife wears one at work, and I think that's something that she's comfortable doing. It doesn't like it, especially if you're outside. I think if you're outside, it's ridiculous because, well, just my answer. That's my answer. I'm just gonna say that, but I don't like that. But they may require it for a while, so I may just have to spend a lot of time on my balcony in my room and a lack of that, and just go out for some things. But we're social creatures. We love to be around people. I love meeting people. I love going to the pub, the bars, just see how people live life. We live in such a beautiful country and such a beautiful dissection of people that it's hard to be on a ship with that many people and not come away with about 10 to 15 new friends or people that you've met that you kind of go, hey, I'm gonna keep in touch with you. Hey, I met some people from Australia on our last cruise. They were just the life of the party. They were fun, and we had some good time with them. They didn't have Facebook or anything like that, but it was cool getting to meet them and doing stuff like that. So it was just meeting people. I, I really want to make sure that happens again. Um, and who do you challenge? Challenge 5 others to answer these questions. I don't have any challenges on that. I wasn't challenged on this, but I just took and run with it. I enjoy seeing Cruise Day Fun Vlog come up with all their little question and answer sessions that they do. Um, it's fun to watch them banter back and forth about things that uh, stuff that they love about cruising, stuff they don't like, and the back and forth between them. My wife and I have several discussions like that. She will not come on the channel. She's very shy about that. I'm really shy as a person, but if you don't put yourself out there, you don't get a chance to meet a lot more people. So this is my opportunity to get myself out there and say, come try our channel out and see if you like it. If you don't, that's okay. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm still going to produce what I want to produce and have fun with it. I would have loved to have gone to Cancun this year and see, what goes on there. Chris, I know you've been, 2 or 3 times. I know a bunch of the vloggers have been, and we contemplated going to Cancun, but it just didn't ever fall time-wise right for us and stuff like that. So I'm really waiting for that first cruise. So it's 6:48 local. Thank you all for tuning in tonight, especially Chris and Cruise Day Fun. You guys, Cruise Day Fun, you make a comment on just about every video I produce, and I appreciate that. It helps me kind of get that. Sometimes you need that positive feedback to help you do more work and get better. And I hope that I've done the same for the channels that I subscribe to. If I leave a thumbs up and I say, hey, keep on going, love what you're doing, help and provide that prop up for each other. That's something I think is important. That's just how I was raised, to say positive things about people. Don't be negative. If you got something negative to say, like there's some things I could have said about Savannah and a couple of restaurants we went to that I didn't like and some other things, but I just wanted to focus on the positives of what we did in Savannah. So that's why you've not seen me talk about some of the restaurants we went to, because we didn't like some of them. And that's why I'll leave that at that. But I'll finish up the editing, hopefully, and get St. Augustine started next week. So this was a chance to do, this was a chance for me to get there and do a live, which I'm not good at, but I wanted to try it, see how I did. Thank you, Cruise Day Fun, for encouraging me to do it. And don't forget to follow us on here, Travel Mobile, Travel from Mobile on Instagram and Twitter. That's the only social media I have for the channel. I appreciate everybody's support, and I hope that I'm doing the same for you. So have a good evening, and we'll talk next time. Thanks.